Return to Monkey. Yukimura is one of the latest additions to our Zodiac roster with the recent New Year's banner. Once she ignites her fighting spirit, she gains a new unique attack string and puts out ridiculous amounts of damage, though she's not without a quirk or two. As always, my name is Xenozilus, and welcome to the Yukimura Deep Dive. So, fighting spirit, how does it work? Well, you have to cast Yukimura's first skill 3 times to activate it. These first 3 casts deal between 1300 and 2000% damage by skill shift, with the final cast unleashing Yuki's fighting spirit. These 3 casts cost 7.8 KSP per cast, but it gets helped along by her S2 Monkey Cross Dive. Before fighting spirit is unleashed, this deals about 1400% damage and fills Yuki's S1 gauge by 15%, accelerating the process. So what happens when fighting spirit finally activates? Well, we get 10% strength, 40% skill damage, knockback immunity, a new attack pattern, skill upgrades, a new dodge, and unique dodge and 4-strike combo chains to go into Yuki's new attack pattern. It's a lot. So the upgraded skills. S1 becomes Monkey Tiger Wrath, dealing up to 2084% damage once you fully charge it by tapping, and also applying the Monkey's Burst Gambit. After this is applied to an enemy, successfully afflicting 15 debuffs or afflictions to the target will cause it to activate, dealing 4300% damage to the target and nearby enemies. Pretty neat, and it happens to bypass Berserk Cayenne's defense increase, strangely enough. Each cast of S1 also fills Yuki's S2 gauge by 15%. The upgraded S2 is Monkey Tiger Chaos, dealing up to 3615% damage, inflicting both Shadow Blight and Scorch Rend when fully charged with taps. This is also shareable for 6 skill share points, though the utility is questionable due to boss resistances to off-element afflictions. As for the rest of Yukimura's kit, she has the standard Lance Co ability, a Combo Time Chain Co ability, Paralysis Resist, and 20% Flurry Strength. As a result, Yukimura's kit allows her to dish out a huge amount of damage, dealing even more if her team is debuff and affliction heavy. Her playstyle is also pretty monkey-like. Once Yuki's fighting spirit buff is engaged, you simply battle off her skills as much as possible, otherwise continually mashing to maintain her infinite combo. It gets pretty tiring, but maybe that's just part of the charm. Against Legend Kai, Yuki makes it a pretty fast run, handily dealing huge amounts of damage while also dealing well with hit count checks. Though you do need to be mindful of the faster mechanics in Berserk. I found myself getting caught out quite often while going full Monkey, so be sure to engage at least 3 brain cells when in Berserk. In Asura, Yuki has similar issues to Summer Leonidas, who I reviewed before. Nothing to do with being Shadow Lancers, but just surprise balls stealing targeting for Yuki's big payoff skills can be irritating, as she overkills them and then continues swinging into thin air. There's also nothing particularly special when it comes to trying to optimize Yukimura. Just be mindful of her S1 charging her S2 when fighting spirit is released, and try not to dash into lethal mechanics by accidentally tapping after a dodge, as the combo will zip you right into Cayenne's loving embrace. There's also a bit of a quirk with Yukimura getting turned around during dodges by damage when fighting spirit is released, so you might need to walk through the occasional mechanic like Cayenne's cages or sun and moon zones. As for Yukimura's setup, it's also fairly straightforward. Build for Flurry Strength, Shadow Blight Punisher, skill damage as basic abilities, slotting in Lance Crit, as well as Scorch Rend Punisher and double buffs if the fight supports it. Once Kaleidoscape prints get into the mix, well, try and keep the same stats. My current Kaleidoscape print for Yukimura gives her full crit chance and a bit of skill prep, which is nice to get her fighting spirit online just a few seconds earlier, but otherwise isn't a huge deal. Your mileage may vary, and once you start to work with Kaleidoscape prints, I'd hope you know enough about the stat system to use your own judgment, though I've seen some pretty terrible things. And that should be about it. Yukimura has been a great addition to the roster and a potential powerhouse with a future Legend Asura and Ciota fights, though time will tell. If you have any further questions, feel free to leave a comment down below or drop by my Twitch streams. I stream Wednesdays and Saturdays, 9:30 PM UTC. As always, thank you very much for watching. Take it easy, stay safe, and I'll see you next time.